There is no National Electrical Code, or NEC, requirement that limits the number of tandem breakers that can be installed in a panel to 4, nor is there a requirement that they must be installed in the bottom spaces. Tandem breakers are two single-pole breakers that are mechanically linked together to occupy a single space in a panel board. They are commonly used to provide two circuits from a single space, making them a good option for applications where space is limited. The NEC does, however, have some general requirements for the installation of tandem breakers. These requirements are found in section 408.16 of the NEC. Firstly, tandem breakers must be listed for use in the panel board in which they are installed. This means the breaker has been tested and approved by a recognized testing laboratory for use with a specific panel board. The listing ensures the breaker meets safety standards and is compatible with the panel's design. Secondly, tandem breakers must be installed in a manner that does not interfere with the operation of the other breakers in the panel board. This is a crucial safety consideration. Interference can occur if a tandem breaker is not properly seated or if it obstructs the movement of other breakers. Such interference can lead to arcing, overheating, and potential fire hazards. Proper installation ensures that each breaker can operate independently and safely. Thirdly, tandem breakers must be spaced so that there is sufficient room for heat dissipation. Electrical components generate heat during operation. Overheating can damage the breakers and the panel board, potentially leading to failure or fire. Adequate spacing allows for proper air circulation, which helps dissipate heat and maintain safe operating temperatures. In addition to the NEC requirements, there may also be manufacturer-specific requirements for the installation of tandem breakers. It is important to consult the manufacturer's instructions before installing any tandem breakers. Manufacturer instructions often provide specific details regarding installation procedures, torque specifications, and other critical information that ensures proper and safe operation. Ignoring these instructions can void warranties and compromise the safety of the installation. Section 408.16 of the NEC, which governs overcurrent protection, contains essential guidelines for the safe and effective use of circuit breakers, including tandem breakers. It is important to note that the NEC is updated regularly, typically every 3 years, to reflect changes in technology, best practices, and safety standards. Therefore, it is crucial to refer to the latest edition of the NEC for the most current and accurate requirements. The purpose of the NEC is to provide a comprehensive set of rules and regulations that ensure the safe installation and operation of electrical systems. Adhering to these standards minimizes the risk of electrical shock, fire, and other hazards. While the NEC sets the minimum standards, local jurisdictions may have additional requirements or amendments. It is important to check with the local authorities having jurisdiction, OJ, to ensure compliance with all applicable codes and regulations. The AHJ is responsible for enforcing the NEC and other local electrical codes. They can provide guidance and clarification on specific requirements, as well as conduct inspections to ensure compliance. When selecting tandem breakers, it is essential to choose breakers that are specifically designed and listed for use in the panel board. Using the wrong type of breaker can compromise safety and may violate the NEC. Breakers are typically labeled with information indicating their suitability for specific panel boards. Always refer to the panel board's labeling and the breaker's specifications to ensure compatibility. Proper installation of tandem breakers also involves ensuring that the panel board is adequately grounded. Grounding provides a path for fault current to flow back to the source, tripping the breaker and preventing electrical shock. The NEC specifies requirements for grounding systems, including the size and type of grounding conductors. It is important to follow these requirements to ensure a safe and effective grounding system. Furthermore, the panel board must be properly sized to accommodate the additional circuits provided by the tandem breakers. Overloading a panel board can lead to overheating and potentially cause a fire. The NEC provides guidelines for calculating the load on a panel board and determining the appropriate size of the panel board and its components. Consulting with a qualified electrician is recommended to ensure that the panel board is adequately sized for the intended load. When installing tandem breakers, it is important to turn off the power to the panel board. This can be accomplished by disconnecting the main breaker or removing the fuses that supply power to the panel board. Energizing the panel board minimizes the risk of electrical shock during the installation process. Using appropriate personal protective equipment, or PPE, is also essential when working with electrical systems. PPE may include safety glasses, gloves, and insulated tools. These items provide protection against electrical shock and other hazards. Additionally, it is crucial to follow safe work practices when installing tandem breakers. This includes avoiding working in wet or damp conditions, keeping tools clean and dry, and never working alone. Taking these precautions can significantly reduce the risk of accidents and injuries. After installing tandem breakers, it is important to test the circuits to ensure they are working properly. This can be accomplished using a multimeter or other testing equipment. Testing the circuits verifies that the breakers are providing the correct voltage and current, and that there are no short circuits or ground faults. If any problems are detected, they should be corrected immediately by a qualified electrician. Regular maintenance of electrical panel boards and breakers is essential for ensuring their continued safe and reliable operation. This may include periodically inspecting the panel board for signs of damage, such as corrosion or overheating, and testing the breakers to ensure they are tripping properly. A qualified electrician can perform these maintenance tasks and identify any potential problems before they become serious. The NEC also addresses the use of arc fault circuit interrupters, or FCIs, and ground fault circuit interrupters, or GFCIs, in electrical systems. FCIs are designed to protect against arc faults, which can cause fires. GFCIs are designed to protect against ground faults, which can cause electrical shock. The NEC specifies where FCIs and GFCIs are required in residential and commercial buildings. Installing these devices can significantly enhance electrical safety. In summary, while the NEC does not specifically limit the number of tandem breakers to 4 or require them to be installed in the bottom spaces, it does have general requirements for their installation. These requirements include listing, interference, and heat dissipation. Consulting the manufacturer's instructions and adhering to safe work practices are also essential for ensuring proper and safe installation. Remember to always refer to the latest edition of the NEC and consult with the local authorities having jurisdiction for the most current and accurate requirements. Electrical work should only be performed by qualified and licensed electricians. This ensures that the work is done safely and in compliance with all applicable codes and regulations. Attempting to perform electrical work without the proper training and experience can be dangerous and may violate the law. Moreover, it is important to understand the difference between various types of circuit breakers. Standard circuit breakers are designed to protect against overloads and short circuits. FCIs protect against arc faults, while GFCIs protect against ground faults. Each type of breaker has its specific application and is designed to protect against different types of electrical hazards. Using the correct type of breaker is crucial for ensuring electrical safety. Another important consideration is the ampacity of the circuit conductors. The ampacity is the maximum amount of current that a conductor can safely carry. The NEC specifies the ampacity of various types of conductors based on their size and insulation. It is important to select conductors that have sufficient opacity for the intended load. Using undersized conductors can lead to overheating and potentially cause a fire. Furthermore, the NEC requires that all electrical connections be made properly. This includes using the correct type of connectors and ensuring that all connections are tight and secure. Loose or corroded connections can cause overheating and potentially lead to electrical failures. Regular inspections of electrical connections can help identify and correct any potential problems. The NEC also addresses the installation of electrical equipment in hazardous locations. Hazardous locations are areas where there is a risk of explosion or fire due to the presence of flammable gases, vapors, or dusts. The NEC specifies special requirements for electrical equipment installed in these locations to minimize the risk of ignition. Working with electricity can be dangerous, but by following the NEC and adhering to safe work practices, the risks can be minimized. Remember to always turn off the power before working on electrical systems, use appropriate PPE, and consult with a qualified electrician if you have any questions or concerns. The NEC also provides guidelines for the installation of surge protective devices, or SPDs. SPD are designed to protect electrical equipment from voltage surges caused by lightning or other events. SPD can help prevent damage to sensitive electronic equipment such as computers, televisions, and appliances. The NEC specifies where SPD are required and provides guidelines for their installation. Additionally, it is important to understand the concept of voltage drop. Voltage drop is the decrease in voltage that occurs along a conductor due to its resistance. Excessive voltage drop can cause equipment to malfunction or operate inefficiently. The NEC provides guidelines for calculating voltage drop and specifies the maximum allowable voltage drop for various types of circuits. Selecting conductors with sufficient size can minimize voltage drop. While installing electrical equipment, it is important to follow the manufacturer's instructions carefully. The manufacturer's instructions provide specific details regarding installation procedures, wiring diagrams, and other critical information. Ignoring these instructions can void warranties and compromise the safety of the installation. Moreover, it is important to keep electrical panel boards and equipment clean and free from obstructions. Dust, dirt, and other debris can accumulate and cause overheating. Regular cleaning and maintenance can help prevent these problems. The NEC also addresses the labeling of electrical circuits and equipment. Proper labeling is essential for identifying circuits and equipment and for ensuring that maintenance and repairs are performed safely. The NEC specifies the information that must be included on labels, such as the circuit number, voltage, and amperage. Additionally, it is important to keep electrical drawings and documentation up to date. Accurate drawings and documentation can be invaluable for troubleshooting and maintenance. They can also help ensure that future modifications and additions are performed safely and in compliance with the NEC. In conclusion, while the NEC does not impose a specific limit of 4 tandem breakers or mandate their placement at the bottom of a panel, adherence to general NEC guidelines, manufacturer instructions, and safe work practices is critical. Regular inspections, maintenance, and proper documentation further enhance electrical safety and reliability. Always prioritize safety and consult with qualified professionals for any electrical work.